Hey, kids, if you're under the age of 18, you're listening to this. A storm's coming. So don't listen to. Start the episode!
You talking about the dudes who are outside right now in the rain trying to move a couch? Sorry,
Yeah.
no, move a mattress.
Yeah.
Who dropped it on the floor?
Yeah.
So now it's a wet mattress?
Yes.
Yeah, they dropped it. Like, straight up. It's the equivalent of a pancake landing on a floor when it's not cooked all the way. It was horrible and hilarious. The worst part is when they dropped it, the guy who threw it out, whose fault it was anyways, he threw it out. He looked disappointed. Like, dude, you tossed the damn couch. Sorry, the damn mattress. You have no room to judge these guys. They moved it in the rain like a football player. like they were in the Super Bowl and the couch was a huge football that they had to move. I've never seen somebody move it that fast. It was hilarious.
So if you guys didn't hear, it is. You probably hear it in the background a little bit. It is pouring here right now, but I'm like, we might as well just record anyways. Have a little flavor into it, I guess.
It'll be fun.
So if any point the recording stops, the power went out.
Like it did a few, 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, and it's reset my internet. Luckily, we're doing everything not internet-based, and I'm working off my laptop, so we should still be able to record if the power goes out.
That's until the hurricane actually hits and it comes and kills us.
So if the power goes out and we're mid-podcast, A, it'd be a hilarious thing.
Mm-hmm.
But B, we'll be able to finish the podcast, don't worry. Because everything we're working off of doesn't need to be plugged in.
Bryce, if we survived, okay, this is just asking if we survived. Let's say we're doing this right now.
Yeah.
And you're on the first floor, so obviously people on the second floor have to die.
Yeah.
The roof rips the fuck off this building.
Yeah.
But everything's still working fine. We're in the fight. The only thing is it's raining.
Yeah.
Do we still keep going? Are we like the people on the Titanic with the violin players? We're like, we gotta finish.
Part of me wants to go grab the umbrellas from the other room.
We'll look like
Just keep it over the computers.
No, okay, let's say the computers are immune. We're getting wet. That's it.
I'm like, it's up to you, man.
Right.
I'm kind of up for it.
Dude, once I get wet, there's no point. You might as well just stay where at that point.
So, guys, welcome to Did You Hear About This? It's a podcast about stories like you just heard.
It is a weird podcast.
I'm Bryce.
I'm Derek.
This week, I'm calling this one the rain episode because it's just storming outside. It's probably the first of many.
We live in Florida. It's going to rain every day. Especially right now, it's hurricane season.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised we've been in hurricane season for a while and we haven't been hit by anything yet. They were calling for it this year.
Yeah, they had some more west.
Oh, okay.
Some like level 1s.
Hurricanes?
Or I think it was maybe tropical
I
storms.
say storms, yes.
Just heavy stuff to the west of us.
Oh, okay.
But nothing actually hit us head on, though.
Good thing about living in the middle.
So we talked about the guys throwing the mattress around outside in the storm.
It flopped so badly.
Do you want to just jump right into the first one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Did you hear about this? Did you hear about the country of Liechtenstein?
I don't know what a Liechtenstein is.
I think it's Liechtenstein because it's technically a German. They speak German there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a country that's there right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's been there for a while. It's a very small country tucked between Sweden and Austria,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like a little oval football shaped.
Isn't Arnold from Austria?
I think so.
I was about to say, it's not Australia. He's from Austria.
He's from Austria. No, not definitely not Australia.
He's most definitely.
Between those two, it's definitely Austria. So it's still small country tucked in the middle there. It's a total of 62 square miles.
Mm-hmm.
The estimated population in 2017 was 38,000 people.
That's still pretty big.
It's landlocked. It's one of the only two completely landlocked countries in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It has a constitutional monarch. It has a king, but they apply by the rules in the constitution.
Mm-hmm.
The national police only has 125 employees.
That's like the Warriors.
Yeah, it's the tiniest little place. I bet you're wondering what's. Just tell me the entire history of this country.
Pretty much, I imagine it hasn't been around long, or if it has, it's not.
It's been around
exciting.
for a while. But the point I want to make with this is because it's so landlocked and has a really good relationship with the two between Austria and Switzerland,
Mm-hmm.
that it doesn't have a military at all.
Mm-hmm. They just protect it, I guess.
Yeah, it's like,
Well, that kind of works because if they want to get attacked, if you attack them, you have to go through the other two countries to get there, and they're not going to let you go through with military equipment.
Yeah. So when it comes to any like big country things, they just go along with Switzerland with like 99% of it.
Well, isn't Switzerland like a peaceful thing? I say they're pretty chill.
Yeah, with them they're also a neutral country.
Yeah.
They, like I said, they don't have a military right now. The last time they had a military,
It was 3 guys and 1 baseball bat.
ooh,
That most definitely got heard. I know it did.
The storm is here.
Ah, Jesus. All right, continue. The last military.
The last military they had was during the Austro-Prussian War in 1866.
That's not even a popular war.
Nope.
I've never even heard of that war.
It was a very short war. They didn't do a lot of fighting. But during that, the Austria asked Liechtenstein to help out with the army that they did have. So they sent 80 men
Okay.
to guard the Brenner Pass, which is a pass between Austria and Italy.
Okay.
There was nothing that them to do there.
It's just 80 dudes
Just
on a road. Like, wow, what do we do? Just chill.
They was in this small town, so all they had to do was just like sit and look at like the beautiful mountains, drink wine and beer, and just hang out.
That sounds like fun.
Because of how they were there. When they left to go back to Budaz, the capital, they went back with 81 men.
Wait, what?
They left with 80 men.
They came back with extra.
And 81, another extra person.
All right.
They made a friend at the border, and they just wanted to keep hanging out, so they just went back with them.
Joined. How did you arrive to this country? I was born in. How did you arrive? Oh, I came here for the. How did you arrive? Well, the military came down. They were so cool and chill.
Yeah.
Like I am right now because of that. And so I was like, I'll just tag along. So they got a bonus person for the military.
I kind of love us that we're recording in the middle of this storm.
I hate that we're recording in the middle of the storm. Now that it's on top of us.
Do you and Jill want to stop?
No.
I feel like the power will be fine.
Oh, we'll be all right.
We survived a lot of storms. We've only had flickers.
We survived just like the country of place I can't pronounce because I just forgot the name of
Liechtenstein.
it. Liechtenstein. It sounds like a weird candy maker.
So after
Liechtenstein's taffy.
So the person that came back with him was Austrian. It was an Austrian liaison officer who just left the army and was just like, "Hey, you guys are cool."
He traded armies.
Yeah. So,
went rogue.
So they did no fighting, and it came back. They did so little fighting. They came back with an extra person.
Hey, that's a record.
Yeah.
I bet you nobody else has ever done that.
Yeah. You're right. 100% right. Nobody came back with more people left than even with.
We need to get more military equipment. We have extra people now.
So with this, I started looking into more of Liechtenstein's history and stuff because I'm like, seems very interesting of like this small country, and I looked into it, and 99% of their population today is like the 1% of the world, like the top 1% of people who like money wise.
Real,
everyone there is filthy rich, and they only have like ski resorts and stuff like that.
Everyone owns their own ski resort.
And then looking into it more, I have this like conspiracy theory of. Let me explain some of the things that happened.
Okay.
And I feel like the Swiss aren't as neutral as we think.
Okay, I'll let you go for this for a bit.
Because in 1985, during a military exercise, several rockets shot by the Swiss changed direction and landed in a forest in Liechtenstein.
Wait, why are the Swiss testing rockets at all?
I don't know, man.
That seems really sketchy.
This is part of like
The
conspiracy theory.
theory.
Why were they testing rockets? And if they were just doing it like military exercises, why were they live rockets?
That's true.
And then
Do you think they were big like big Swiss rockets where it's like they have like the flag on it, like it's a big red one? Because the Swiss is the red with the little white cross in it, right?
Yes.
All right.
It's a big old plus sign.
Yeah.
So they did this, and then Liechtenstein's like they said it was forgiven over a box of white wine. They're like, it's okay, we're just
We
drinking
didn't
some wine,
to.
which would have been fine. But then in 1992,
More rockets.
The Swiss military forgot the city of Triesenberg was not in their territory, so they crossed the border to set up an observation post there. And when they got to, they're like, "Oh yeah, this isn't ours." So they invaded Liechtenstein.
What was Liechtenstein going to do about it?
They didn't do anything.
Exactly.
But this isn't the last one either. This keeps happening. Yeah, the storm's coming, Derek. The storm's coming. It's called the Swiss.
The Swiss are coming to attack slowly. They're going to come at us with fucking army knives.
As in 2007, 150-man Swiss infantry unit got lost.
Ended up in Liechtenstein.
And when they figured out where they were a mile into Liechtenstein.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like neighborhoods where you don't know where the signs are. Like, oh, you're leaving here and entering here.
Yeah.
After a while, they all looks the same. I bet you, Bryce, we can go there right now, and you wouldn't be able to tell when you walked into Liechtenstein either.
I feel like I would get enter and leave before I realized that was there.
Exactly. It's like walking into Rhode Island. It's too small to recognize.
But dude, okay, hear me out. You heard of the Blitzkrieg during World War II. It was when it was called the Lightning War because it was supposed to be so fast. I believe this is the opposite of the Lightning War.
It's a non-war.
And in German, it'd be the Langdenstreimer Krieg instead of Blitzkrieg. It's called Slow War.
It's the slowest war possible.
The slowest invasion I've ever heard of.
They're slowly taking over Liechtenstein. What that pause was the lights going out and coming back on immediately.
Dude, we're gonna die during this podcast, and I'm gonna love it.
Maybe you might.
Because I'm kind of enjoying that. Like, I was just trying to keep the rapport of the podcast going when there's a heavy storm around us, and it's a lot heavier than we both thought it was going to be.
We're apparently storm chasers now. Bryce, when that happens, if a hurricane comes through, I'll come over. Well, now, your house, I don't want to be in your house. You can come over to my house and record a podcast. Mine's way more secure than this house.
I don't know, man. If lightning hits my place, the people upstairs are going to get hurt before me.
Exactly. I live on the first floor, too, but mine's place is more secure.
That's pretty secure.
As I look out the window and see the storm.
As you look out and see the guys running with the mattress.
Yeah, exactly. They got more mattresses.
Guys, don't... Also, we talked about this a little bit before the podcast. If it's storming and you have... Don't keep moving in the middle of the storm. Because the storms in Florida, they don't last very long.
Nah, they're very quick.
Maybe a couple hours tops.
Honestly, I think we're coming to the end of this one because the sun's starting to move out.
Yeah, so if a storm is starting and don't... Just close the truck up real quick and wait an hour. Because it'll be done in an hour.
So, let's get back on focus. Yeah. Which is already off focus because it was about a small town, and now it's about a conspiracy theory. Sorry, a small country. Now it's a conspiracy theory about a slow war.
Yes, they're slowly invading.
They're slowly invading Liechtenstein.
Because the Swiss are usually neutral. They don't know how to invade.
No.
So they're like,
it's their test. It's their test invading. It's like when you like bull riding. You know how you get on the practice bull first, the automatic one. That's their test site. They're going to slowly invade that, and they're like, okay, well, we can take over everyone else now. And slowly move in.
Yes, Mike, that's why... Because it's so weird, when you think about it. Because, accidents happen. This is an entire different country. You should know where your border is. This is in 2007 was the most recent one. You should know where the border is.
They wandered in.
And I was looking at the map. I think there's a river between the two.
Cuts through.
Between the two countries. Don't cross the river. Yeah.
What language if you know, do the Liechtenstein, do they speak Swiss?
It's mostly German.
Mostly German?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out ways that the people would recognize they're not in the right country, like if the signs change.
They don't see, if they don't see just big plus signs anymore.
Exactly. I wish I had more jokes about the Swiss. But they're so plain.
Like their cheese, there's a lot of holes here.
Fuck that joke. That joke is horrible. I hate that joke. It's like there's nothing about the Swiss that I know except that they make the army knives.
Yeah.
And they're really fucking boring. I've never heard of anything coming from the Swiss that was exciting.
I don't know, man. I mean, the knives they have
they're
pretty
cool.
exciting.
Yeah, but that's it.
Like this one has a knife and a spoon.
And a spoon and pliers and a torque wrench.
This one has a little flamethrower on it.
I want to know if they ever made one that had like those old, like they would find those old novelty guns. Like it'd be like, oh, it's a gun, it's a cane. Yeah. It shoots one thing, or it's a pocket watch. It shoots one bullet. There's been a Swiss Army knife that's like it's got one shot in it. It's like a little pebble. It won't kill anybody, but it'll really fucking hurt.
When you were describing that, my first thought was like, it shoots the knife.
I think they have something like that, where you can act. Oh yeah, because wasn't that's in like one of the Call of Duties where you can shoot a knife.
Yeah. So I was thinking of like that, and I thought, oh, the Swiss are actually pretty nice. It's like we made new technology. Everyone has like hidden guns. This one has a hidden pair of tweezers,
yep.
And you can use it to get like your eyebrows. People like tweeze their eyebrows.
I know, I get it.
You looked at me really weird when I said that.
No, I'm just really lost on where we're going. I'm trying to figure out something to say.
If you want, we can move on, man.
Please, let's move on.
Are you still distracted by the storm?
No, I'm distracted by the Swiss now.
Dude, the Swiss storm is coming, and Liechtenstein better be ready.
Liechtenstein's going to be part of the storm, not even realize it.
That was really good timing.
It was. All right, next.
Yeah, let's do some Florida mans. Florida man starts house fire while baking cookies on George Foreman grill. He was also naked the entire time.
Okay.
I feel like this is like the classic Florida man story.
Mm-hmm. The worst part is Foreman grills, you push down on them, so if it's actual like cookie batter, like the small square pieces you put in. As soon as you crushed it, it all just kind of oozed out.
Yeah.
That's probably how the fire started. It probably got into like the electronics and just busted the whole damn thing open.
And in classic Florida man style, he is naked.
He is naked. Because nobody can do crazy, stupid stuff in Florida fully clothed. Sorry, I was about to smack something. I knew it'd be really loud. We already have enough loud shit going on here.
So yeah, like this is like I said, the classic Florida man story. Can you think of? All this is missing is like a gator.
I'm about to say there's a gator inside the place.
Florida man starts fire in his own home and then gets attacked by a gator because he was making cookies on George Foreman grill.
He has a pet gator that he goes to save as he's running out of the burning building.
There we go.
Bryce, quick question.
Sure.
Somehow you're naked.
Correction. According to this podcast, I am clothed during this podcast.
Yes,
Continue.
he's wearing a very lovely blouse. Anyways, you're naked.
Okay.
The house catches fire.
Okay. It's
not any crazy reason. Let's just say something happens.
Okay.
Do you take the time to get dressed, or do you grab clothes as you run out, or you just head out straight?
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I have no shame. I'm heading straight out that door. I knew my answer before you finished your question. You're naked. I'm like, I'm gonna be naked this entire adventure.
Bryce, just so you know, it might sound weird. I always have like a set of clothes sitting right next to my door in my room. Mm-hmm. So if I ever have to leave in a hurry, I'm like, I can just grab this as I leave out.
And that's another thing. People like have clothes in their car.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I'm like,
really?
Like, no risking.
Oh, dude.
I gotta risk it for the biscuit, you know?
No. always bring a second set of clothes. You never know when you're gonna need to change.
I don't know, man.
What if you're the guys who got wet dropping the mattress outside?
I'm not. Like I said, don't move in the middle of a storm. That's their own fault. Plus, they're going to their new house, which has other clothes in it.
True.
And people are like, I spilled this thing on my shirt. I'm like, this is part of my shirt for the rest of the day then.
Oh, dude, that would have been even funnier. What if they would have had? What if they were moving a dresser, and as soon as the rain started, they dropped the dresser, and all the clothes just fell out everywhere?
Oh, this entire episode would be about that then.
Exactly. That'd be the best thing in the world to have.
I don't know what to call this one. Something about the storm or something about the guys outside.
I'll think of something.
Let's call this one moving in the storm.
Moving in the storm. That works, I guess.
Let's go to the next Florida man. Florida woman plans to marry Tetris cartridge after breaking up with the calculator.
Is it a Game Boy Tetris or is it?
It's like the classic NES. It's NES cartridge.
Oh, okay.
So I read up on this. I forget what it's called, but she's attracted to inanimate objects.
Mm-hmm.
And she was dating a calculator for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And she broke up with the calculator to be with the Tetris NES cartridge.
Why? The calculator's way smarter than that Tetris NES cartridge. He's going to have a better opportunities in life. He's going to get a good job. Unlike that Tetris cartridge, it's a bum.
But that Tetris cartridge is more fun.
And?
Keeps her young.
You can have fun with calculators. You spell boobs with them.
I was about to say you can spell boobs on them.
Is that why? Is that why she broke up with the calculator? The calculator was pushing too hard. Every time she looked at it, it was like, boobs.
She's like, I'm not in the mood right now.
Boobs.
No.
And then it spells out really like, boobs. 80000000085.
I'm not in the mood. I've just got a long day at work. It's really stressful, and I'm not in the mood right now, calculator.
1 + 1 = 2.
Okay, I know you're trying to expand my knowledge in the world.
Oh, nah, then it gets creepy. It's like 1 + 1 = 3.
Okay, now you're just broken.
No, it's a pregnancy joke.
Oh. That was not a pregnancy joke. That was like
Yes, it was.
There was no setup.
I'm trying to be a creepy calculator. That's the whole setup. What can the Tetris thing do? It can play the annoying song and piss you off when you don't win.
Yeah, and then it can have the one that kind of looks like a dick go in between the one that's a U.
God. This got weird. This got really weird. All I'm saying is I go out with the calculator.
You go with the calculator?
I'm going with the calculator. I like calculators. It can solve my problems. It can do my taxes.
Mm-hmm.
If I need to know the total of an amount, like if I'm going to pay like a bill and I'm like, oh, I want to put a tip, it can do that for me. Tetris can't do that.
So
Tetris can only build up and then destroy what it builds.
That just got really deep.
Yeah.
That was kind of, when I think about it, that was kind of deep.
I have a long relationship with Tetris. I've known Tetris for many years.
The new one came out. It's competitive online Tetris.
Yeah. Oh, the Battle Royale Tetris?
Yeah.
I actually want to play that.
I would be terrible because I'm bad at every video game.
Well, I think you'd be alright. You wouldn't lose immediately.
I don't know, man.
We could play it. I got a Switch.
Like, it's all stacked up on the left and I lose. I'm like, ah, shit. Wait,
exactly.
I can move right to left?
You can lose with Tetris. That's the point. You know what you can't lose with?
A calculator.
A calculator. Calculators will always be there for you. They can help you with your SATs.
I would.
Tetris can't do that.
If I had to choose an inanimate object.
Inanimate? Okay.
Yeah, I would choose an oven. Keeps things hot.
True, but it takes too long. I want something fast and quick. I want a microwave. Exactly, I want a microwave.
The thing is, a microwave will hurt you easily.
Well, fine. We'll meet in the middle. It can be a toaster oven.
There we go. Put your dick in a toaster.
Toaster oven. There's probably a video of that somewhere.
Everyone listening, do not, I repeat, do not look that up.
I saw a video of a guy fucking a car once. But it wasn't like the tailpipe. He was like fucking the gas canister. So it's like, dude, once you finish, you're going to total that car because all of it's going to get stuck inside the gas and it's going to mix with it. It's going to destroy that car. It's like putting sugar in a tank. It doesn't work.
And when I was in high school, I wasn't in the marching band, right? I was like the guy next to the marching band whose all friends was in the marching band.
There's one time at band camp. Okay, continue.
So after their like a football game, they went back to their locker room, not a locker room, but band room to go change and whatever.
That's a locker room technically.
So I was waiting for them to get out, and I saw a couple of them. I'm like, I'm gonna make the joke I'm gonna pretend to pee in my friend's gas tank, right? So I run over to his car and I take the gas, I open up the gas tank,
Mm-hmm.
and I touch it, and then the alarm starts going off. So I shut it real quick, and I'm like, it just keeps going off. I'm like, well,
Yeah, it
he's
doesn't
not out
go
here
off.
yet.
You just...
So I have to just wait with this car. The alarm goes off until he comes out, so I can tell him that I did it.
I would have walked away. I would have walked a block away, wait for him to come out, and then go, yeah, it's weird, right? It just started going off. The wind hit it.
The thing is, I didn't want him to worry that like someone was trying to break into his car. I'm like, nah, man, it's just me. We're good. It's just I tried to pee in your gas tank.
I fucked your car up. I tried to destroy your car for a joke.
Hey, man, you're welcome.
He loved that car. He left a calculator for that car.
This car's taken in places, I swear.
Yeah, exactly.
God. Let's move on, please.
Mm-hmm.
Florida man calls 911 to report getting stabbed in the back. He did not.
Well, not physically. It's more of an emotional stab to the back.
A calculator left him.
Exactly. He got really emotional.
Can you be dumped by an object?
I imagine if you're crazy enough to date one, yes.
I'm not going to kink shame calling her crazy, alright? But, like...
I am.
I don't want to see what she does with these. That's all I'm saying.
I have a good idea in my head that I don't want to describe.
Let's not say these things out loud. We already pushed the limits of being on Spotify and iTunes and everything.
Really?
I mean the things we talk about.
That's true. They're not healthy.
Yeah. So it's limited just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Okay. Well, I won't say it then. Do you think it's a big calculator? You think it's like one of those TS-18 fuckers?
I saw the picture. I think it was.
Oh, okay.
As one of scientific calculators.
So you can actually write with those, actually.
Yeah.
And you can play games on them. Somebody got Doom to work on that. Yeah. It looked like shit, but it was cool.
I had one in high school, and somebody showed me how to put Tetris on it.
She can have the best of both worlds. She can have the calculator
oh my
and
God.
Tetris. We completely skipped the story of the one you just said and went back to the same stupid fucking story.
He was reported getting stabbed in the back. He was not stabbed in the back.
He was not stabbed in the back.
He was arrested for using
false reporting.
Yeah.
I want to go back to talk about the calculator, but I know we can't. So I'm going to continue with the stabbed in the back story. Where do I want to go with the stabbed in the back story? You think when he got to jail, they were like, so what happened to you? Got stabbed in the back. Oh, that's pretty badass. And they look at him like, you look fine to me. He goes, the pain's on the inside.
Sharon. I can't believe we've done this.
Sharon, I want my records back. Because apparently we're in the 80s when we have records.
I mean...
What records are making them come back?
We're breaking up. We got to cut the dog in half. That's what we're going to have to do.
When you say in half, do you mean like back in front, or do you mean like down the middle, like one gets the left side and one gets the right side?
Oh, she's getting the ass. For
sure.
Okay. She keep the ass. I want the good part.
No comments on what the good side of a dog is.
Well, it's the opposite of the ass. So.
Yeah, I know, but
the head.
But who makes that decision?
I mean, I just did.
My dog likes when I scratch its ass.
Let's go to the next one. So do cats.
All right, continue. Next Florida man.
This is the last one for now. Let's jump over to the other story.
Okay.
Florida man wasn't drinking and driving. He was only drinking at stop signs and traffic signals.
To be fair, that makes sense in my head. Because I wasn't doing both at the same time.
Yeah, I only did it when I was stopped.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not illegal if you know.
I want to see him and like the Morgan and Morgan guys try and play that in court. So that they have to go back and rewrite the law and be like, well, yeah, technically, like go through high details.
I think they would. I think he was arrested for a DUI because he was still drunk.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like in order to make sure you get him, you'd go for open container.
Mm. Do we have open container laws here?
I assume so. I don't know for sure though.
I think some states don't have that actually. You can actually have it in there and not get in trouble.
Oh, I didn't do the preface this time saying that we're not reporters or historians.
I think they should know that by now.
I mean, we started this with clearly nothing to do with history, so
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Literally, there's no history in this episode except for the time a lovely lady fell in love with a calculator.
That is historic.
Yeah, and
I mean, you're gonna read about that in your books in a couple years.
about how a lady loves a calculator. That seems like a bad story. That's like a Twilight fiction, like those romance fiction novels.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So
technically, yeah, he wasn't drinking driving. He drunk a little, then he drove a bit. At least he's being responsible. He stopped at all the stop signs on all the red lights.
yes,
I think he's doing fine.
but I think he was driving in every lane.
Eh.
He stopped at the stop sign. He wasn't in the right lane for it.
Was he using his flashers to dedicate when he was moving back and forth?
I mean, he pulled him over for some reason. He found out he was drunk.
Right.
I don't know what the reason was. Probably his driving was all over the place.
Do you think there's somebody who practices walking in a straight line while drunk and like doing the nose and saying the alphabet backwards and shit?
Probably.
Just so when stuff hits the fan, they know what to do.
Probably. And then they're like, do the breathalyzer, and they're like, fuck!
No. Honestly, I think police officers do that just to do that. Like, they'll be like, well, I want you to stand on one foot. And they're like, okay, and I want you to walk straight that way. They just do it to make fun of them. And then they're like, okay, now breathe into this. We could have skipped all that nonsense, but I wanted to make fun of you.
Honestly, they probably do because it gets super boring some nights.
Mm.
It's like I had to report to two people complaining about loud music. I said, go there, can you turn it down? They turned it down, so it was really just a boring night.
Nothing to do.
It's my first thing in like hours.
I need
Might as
some
well,
entertainment.
Yeah.
It's do you think if you ever got pulled over, not that you are drunk, but they think you are.
Yeah.
Do you think you can do the alphabet backwards thing?
No.
Because I know I can't.
For sure not.
I hate when I see those like, "But can you give me the alphabet Z through G backwards without singing?" I'm like, no, not at all.
I can't do that now.
Exactly.
Do you want to write out my name? Because that's already a trouble for me.
Bryce.
I told you the
It's
story.
coming back. That storm's coming
I
back.
told you the story of how I got the nickname Bruce in high school.
No, you have not.
So we were in typing class, learning how to type, and the first time we were in there, they're like, type your name. So I was like, I tried to type my name. If you're wondering, the Y and the U keys are very close together.
Mm-hmm.
And I typed out Bruce, and I'm like, that's funny. So I went over to my friend Cassie, I'm like, hey, look, I typed out Bruce, and she laughed at it.
Mm-hmm.
That was my freshman year. I was called Bruce until I graduated.
Ah.
Oh my God. So I'm like, I misspelled my name, which is, honestly, I deserved a dumb nickname at that point.
Mm.
But
if you're gonna get a dumb nickname, I don't want to be in most of the letters of my actual name. Honestly, I've never actually paid attention to a keyboard, like where the letters are placed at. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to type. I'm one of those people where it's like, okay, and I'll look at the keyboard and not look up. I just hope everything stays correct as I'm looking down at the keyboard.
Yeah.
I can't do that. Because who decided... Look this story up. I want to know who decided where the keys on the keyboard go. Because they're not out... You'd think they'd be like, let's make them alphabetical. It's easier that way.
Yeah.
But they're not.
I think what they did... I'm looking at it. Maybe they used the most popular letters around where your hands naturally lay.
Mm. Yeah, because you don't use Q all the time.
Yeah, that's why it's where your pinky would be, high up. Same thing with Z and X.
I guess.
But, like, these letters you use a lot.
I don't use K that much. K is not a popular letter. Sorry, I'm looking at a keyboard right now.
Derek, K is in your name.
I know it is. I don't use it that much. I don't spell my name that much.
I don't know, man. Do you want to move on to the next story?
No, I'm still looking at this keyboard because I'm looking for where the fuck is the R?
R is right here.
R is
It's pretty.
Literally,
it's right here.
Literally, other than K, all the letters in my name are right next to each other.
Yeah.
Which proves K isn't worth it because it's way over here on the right.
Yeah, and then mine is like this. So it's all over the place.
In fact, not to be rude, I think people use B more than they use K.
Yeah, and B is like the worst spot.
B is all the way at the bottom.
It's in the exact worst spot for both hands.
Exactly.
In fact, when I was learning how to type, they're like, you can use either hand.
I tend to use one hand when I type.
Yeah.
And I'm okay. I caveman type where I use one hand and I use the other one just to hit space. It's specifically space and backspace. That's all that right hand does.
Yeah, I was taught to always use your thumb for the space and use this for the enter.
Mm. All right, we can go on to the next story if you want, unless you want to make fun of the keyboard some more.
Yeah, we're only about 35 minutes and we can move on.
Okay.
We're talking about that.
Oh yeah, we're
Write
doing
down
the next mini story.
Do 3448. Because I don't want me saying the numbers out loud as unattractive.
That's fine. 3448.
I have a bigger one, and we can end with a small one.
Okay.
Hey Derek, did you hear about this? Did you hear about Vexations by Eric Satie?
What does that even mean?
It's a musical piece.
Oh, okay.
It's made for the piano.
Mm-hmm.
It's considered the world's longest piano piece.
I've always wanted to learn to play the piano. How long is it?
Let's put it this way: the actual sheet music is roughly 1 page.
That is really long, actually.
It's one page of music.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of there's several pages for most thing, but it's 1 page.
Mm-hmm.
But it was Vexations was a work by French composer Eric Satie. He died in 1925. He never published it. He never performed it. Never mentioned it.
They just found it.
They found it in his work, and it was published in 1949 by a composer named John Cage, which is a very cool name.
John Cage.
John Cage.
I'll see you, hell, in a cage. He doesn't say cell. He has to specify it's cage.
So, it's 1 page, but what makes it the longest piece ever is what's written on the top of it.
Does it say repeat?
It says it was originally written in French. Okay. It's a translation of it. In order to play the theme 840 times in succession, it would be advisable to prepare oneself beforehand and in the deepest silence by serious immobilities. So a lot of people think, oh, you have to play this piece 840 times in a row. Nobody knows if that's actually what he meant. A lot of people think it's not, but that's what it says.
But I say that seems like it'd be hard to. Maybe that's how many times he wanted to play it to make sure it like practice. Maybe.
So the first time this was ever performed was in 1963 by John Cage and 13 other pianists.
Did he play it inside of a cage?
No, they did not.
like how they do country music bars where they have the chicken wire in front of the stage.
So they would perform, and then whenever they would get tired, they'd switch out to the next pianist, and they'd keep playing. The ticket prices were $5 in 1963.
Who? I'll say that's a little.
It's about normal in '63.
Of inflation, that'd be what, like a $20 ticket probably.
So how it worked was there was a clock. When you go walk in, you clock in. The
patrons, like you're clocking in for work.
The patrons would clock in when they walk into the theater, and when they leave, they clock out. Because they were refunded a nickel for every 20 minutes they were there.
Oh, wait. So you can make all your money back.
The longer time you stayed there, the more money you would make back.
Do you have to stay awake?
No.
Okay, I would have just took a nap. It's
very important. Somebody fell asleep during the person who was reviewing it fell asleep during it. Do you know how long it was?
I'm gonna guess 848 times. You said
140 times.
140.
840 times.
840 times. I would say that probably took about 32 hours.
Depending
on how fast you play. Did I? Okay.
It was 18 hours long.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not even a whole day.
There's only one person there for the entire performance. People came in later. People came in late. But one person was there for the entire performance.
He slept for 18 hours.
No, he was awake. He was the one person that was awake.
Oh, shit.
By the time the performance was over, there were 6 people left in the audience. And when they finished, one person shouted, "Encore!"
Encore. All the pianists are just sitting there like, fuck,
sweating.
This. Yeah, exactly. They're all angry.
And so there's this insanely long piano piece
that's 18 hours long.
Yeah, the first time
was way over that.
Well, the thing is, you weren't wrong.
It's because really
long. I believe when they would switch between some of them, they had another piano there. They would start playing. So they cut some of it out, I think. Because in 2012, another French pianist did a rendition by himself.
Okay.
It was 35 hours.
Wow.
He played non-stop.
How do you... I guess he had a catheter in. I was like, how do you use the bathroom?
He's probably super dehydrated by the end of it, but yeah.
It's him. He's at the piano. There's a catheter, and then there's a fucking
Like a long straw to like refresh his drink.
No, I was going to go for you know when they give you fluids in the
IV?
hospital. Yeah, they gave you a drip.
Yeah,
So
an
he
IV.
doesn't die on the spot.
Yeah, so you were almost head on with what in 2012 the guy did it by himself.
Oh, that's really annoying. Did people get paid money to sit there too?
No, I think they were allowed to leave and come as they please. This wasn't the last time it was played. The last time, there's two other times after that. In 2016, this guy did an open sitting solo performance of it.
Mm-hmm.
While he played, he was hooked up to like vital machines.
But I say, yeah,
to make sure he was still okay to keep going.
Mm-hmm. You're not supposed to sit anywhere for like longer than like 12 hours, let alone 35 hours.
He was busy. He was getting the workout in his hands. Ooh, I think the podcast
really
got that one.
Yep. I've been hearing them slowly, but that was a good one. That was a close one.
So there was one last one in December 2017. The Chamber Lab, this is a company, did a marathon performance of it as a fundraiser.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was for the American Civil Liberties Union.
Mm-hmm.
And they raised over $16,000. And they had 34 pianists performing it throughout the day.
One for each hour, and then one guy to do a bonus hour at the end.
Yeah, so they had a bunch of people like come in and do a little bit of the performance to raise money for this, which was great. And it was a great idea because they played all day. And so this raises the point: how much money, if you knew how to play the piano, how much
play
money
for 35 hours?
Yeah,
I don't. Depends. Okay, am I earning money or am I raising money for charity?
what would be the one that you'd more likely do it for?
Honestly, I wouldn't do it for any amount of money for myself, but if like it's for charity, I'll be like, okay, I'll come and play. I'll try and sit there for 35 hours, but there's no guarantees at it.
So what I want to do now is when we go to like a concert.
Ask them to play it. We're taking requests.
Yeah.
Here you go.
And then people are like, Freebird, no. Vexations.
Pick the longer song. People like long songs.
I want to fall asleep and wake up like after a full 8 hours worth of rest. Wake back up and you're still playing. I want that.
No, you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of, I'm not sure if they do it everywhere, but TBS around Christmas time shows a Christmas Story for like 3 days straight.
Yeah.
And it's the only time I've ever been like, I've fallen asleep at one part in the movie, I've woken up, and that part of the movie just starts playing. I'm like, oh, well, I'm up to date. I'll just continue from here. That's what I feel like with this song. I wonder, how long do you think it takes to just play it once? Like, fully through?
Just the one without repeating again?
Yeah, without repeating. Just one whole page.
It's like one page. Maybe a couple minutes. It's not that long of a song originally.
That's literally like when a record scratches and and it just keeps going and you don't stop it.
Do you think people who watch that first performance, like after the first 20 minutes, they're like, all right, I heard this already, like several times already. How much longer is it? Oh, only 17 more hours?
Not through. That's why I was like, I would have just, if I was earning my money back, I would have just went to bed. I would have sat, because I imagine back in the day, this was probably like a really big theater, if not big enough. I would have picked the seat way in the back.
Yeah.
And maybe if they had the options, like when you go in the movie theaters, the armchairs can go up, raise them all up, and just lay on the bench and go to sleep.
Yeah, I read that there was that's not a reporter, someone who does reviews. I forget what it's called, but the person who was doing the review of it fell asleep during the performance. So
no shit.
Yeah, it was 18 hours.
18 hours. So he listened to it for 10 hours and fell asleep for 8.
So looking at it,
do you think he had nightmares while he was dreaming of like a piano trying to kill him, but it was just kept replaying the music over and over again?
So he'd go through like a door, and then the music reset, and he'd go back through the door again.
Do you remember Super Mario 64?
Yeah.
Do you rememmer the killer piano?
Oh my god, yes.
That. But it's playing this fucking song.
So I was thinking, it was $5 for a ticket. And you got a refund of a nickel every 20 minutes.
Every 20 minutes.
So that would be
It's a few hours.
20. It was, yeah.
It's not the whole
5 times
performance.
20 would give you $1 back, so it would be
5, 10, 15, 20. 25 times 20. I'm not good at math. I left math once I started putting letters in
250
it.
minutes. 6 12.
That's the length of a ride to get on Avatar at Disney
You
World.
had to watch it for about 5 hours in order to get your money back.
That's longer than Endgame.
I would rather. You want to watch Endgame again? No, I want to listen to Vexations once.
I think I could sit there for 5 hours to make. Not only do I think I could sit there for 5 hours to make my money back, I would sit there to the point where I'd be like, if I sit here longer, can I earn money? Will you pay me to sit here?
I wish that was the case, because there's one person who did that. Remember, there's one person that
he
stayed there
sat
the
the
entire
whole time.
I don't. I'm like, all right, you stayed here for because they
Here's
didn't think,
$10.
They didn't think it was going to last that long. Like the performers didn't think it was going to last that long.
Yeah, because who's going to stay there and listen to what is the equivalent of like 5 minutes of music for, well, at least when they were performing it, 18 hours?
Yeah.
Nobody. Nobody's going to sit there.
Yeah, I don't know. 6 people were there at the end, and one of them wanted an encore.
Yeah. The guy yells encore. They just shove the fucking pianos off the side of the stage. Like, no.
Thanks to Young Walnut for letting us use his song for the intro and outro. If you have any stories you want us to do, you can email us at dyhatpodcast@gmail.com. That's DYHAT podcast@gmail.com. Or you can tweet at us at @dyhatpodcast. We have a Twitter now. Go ahead and you can just do that. Did you hear about this? Did you hear about George Washington's inspirational words before you crossed the Delaware?
No.
So you know George Washington, the first president and everything.
Mm-hmm. Technically.
He was on,
He's on the one.
He's on the one.
He's on the quarter.
Because he's number one.
Number one. He's okay, quick little story. I always thought Abraham Lincoln. I thought the people who were on the dollar bills, that was their position as presidents. I'm like, oh, Abraham Lincoln was the 5th president. I'm pretty sure he's not.
I think he's like 25th.
Is he the 25th? Okay, but that's what I used to think. I'm like, wow, this, and then you get the Benjamin Franklin. I'm like, shit, he waited a long time to be president. He's number 100.
It's funny because he wasn't ever president.
He was never president. I know. But when I was younger, that's how I thought currency worked.
It's
at least the dollar bills.
It's when you think about it. It's George Washington on the 1. Mm-hmm. He's also on the quarter.
Yep.
And Abraham Lincoln's on the 5. He's also on the penny.
We need to get rid of the penny, but yeah.
So it's like they just kind of switched.
It's weird currency, man.
Okay, so George Washington on Christmas Day, when he was fighting the Revolutionary War, he crossed the Delaware.
Mm-hmm.
His inspirational words while they were pushing off to cross the Delaware. I want you to think about these words. I want you to hold them in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Yeah, sure.
Shift that fat ass, Harry, but slowly or you'll swamp the damn boat.
I wasn't prepared for that. Shift that fat ass, or we'll swamp. So pretty much, he didn't want to sink at this point.
Yeah, he's like, move the fuck over. What are you doing?
We're gonna capsize on this
Shift
fucking
your fat
dinghy.
ass over.
Move.
Do it slowly though. You're gonna fucking swamp the boat.
Dude, boats weren't as technologically advanced back then. I'd be freaking out too, because they did that. Isn't when they crossed the Delaware? Didn't they do that like under, like the stealth of night or something like that?
Yeah.
So nobody knew they were coming.
And also in the middle of winter.
Yeah. Oh, you really don't want to go in the water then. Going in the water back then in the middle of winter was death. You died.
So I want everyone listening to this, I want you to take those words of wisdom. I want you to share them with your children. To shift that fat ass over.